All right, so I'm joined once again by New Money, New Mansa, Joaquin Buckley, before his fight against Sean Brady at UFC 328 on May 9th. Welcome back, man. How you been?
Man, we've been good. It's been a minute, since the UFC did announce that Buck got a fight. But I think, the UFC, I don't know what I done to get the UFC graces, but they gave me a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Out of all the people they could have gave me, I feel like stylistically, man, Brady is a fight for me. And it really gets me to be able to prove, the people that, even that Usman fight, where my weakness was, what we capable of doing against Brady, So it again, stylistically, I feel like it's the best matchup that I can have right now.
Okay, so you're excited about the matchup because a lot of people kind of saying the opposite. They're like, this is a bad matchup for Buck. He just got Usman. What's Brady going to do to him? But from your perspective, you're excited, you're confident going into this fight.
Man, I'm more than confident, man. To be honest with you, man, with the things that Usman was able to do, I tell people, you know what I mean? Brady's unable to do that, right? Brady's not on the same level as a person like Usman, right? Brady has not fought the same competition as Usman. And for me to go 5 rounds with a person like that, who's going to be I think a Hall of Famer, one day, I just really feel like, man, we're going to breeze past Brady. We're going to make it look easy. I really feel like, we ain't going to need 3 rounds at all. I think we can get Brady out there in the first, and it's been done before, right? And I'm gonna just keep it 100 and I'm gonna keep it real. If Bilal could tatch you up and put hands on you and TKO you, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put you out, right? And that, with that being said, I just feel like, man, Brady ain't really much of a competition for me, and I'm gonna show it's, it's day and night,
You're
different.
gonna show there's levels on the night.
100%.
Okay. Well, I think a lot of fans will be back on your side then after this fight on May 9th.
I mean, I don't care if they wasn't on my side.
It's all good either way, right?
Yeah. We come to get that check, man. We come to get paid, like you said, $1 million man, right? This is what we've been working for a long time. And I feel like the Usman fight, it was that, right? And, I dropped the ball. But I think I'm getting a good, layup, from the UFC, man. Definitely getting this stylistic matchup against Brady. And I really get to show the world, how great I am. But then I also get to, level up, man, with my paycheck. So I need this fight. I need this fight right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then before we get into the fight, I want to know how it came together and all these things. But real quick, because you gave us some tidbits on Instagram before the fight was booked. So just for the fans who are wondering, 2 fights that you said you turned down before Brady, during this layoff that you had. Can you speak on that at all or give us any other details to it?
I already spoke about it, but we get more detail if
Or like a
anybody
name?
missed it. Yeah, I dropped the names too.
I think you said
come on,
Protez,
I
right?
ain't never scared.
You said
I ain't never scared.
Protez.
Yeah. So the first one, after I fought Usman, right? They reached out to me. I mean, shortly after, right? The Usman fight, for the Chicago bout, And they had brought me out there. They flown me out there, man, to kind of get the fans, excited about, whatever. And I went out there and just do a meeting. And before I knew it, right, Hunter hit me up and was like, hey, I got an opportunity for you. But he didn't say the name. I just assumed that it was Protez because he was on the card, right? But unfortunately, I just couldn't do it for X, Y, Z reasons. And Jeff Neal took that fight, right? And we seen what happened to Jeff Neal. You know what I'm saying? Good Lord, right? But I was like, hey, look, at the end of the day, and I told Hunter, I was like, I'll be ready for the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? But I never got a call back. And I remember I had went down to Texas to Fortis MMA, and I had told Safe, I was like, hey, I think they're going to give me Michael Morales next. They wanted to give me Protez, but I think they're going to give me Morales next. He's like, man, I think that's a good fight for you, but he a big boy. I was like, I don't give a fuck how big he is. I used to fight at 185, and I was dropping them niggas. I'll drop his ass too. So I'm talking. And then he said, hey, did you hear word from Hunter about Michael Morales? I said, no. He said, well, you're not getting that fight. I was like, what you mean? He said, they already kind of discussed Sean Brady getting that fight. And in my head, I was confused. I'm like, why would Sean Brady take that fight, right? You just became, what, number one? He was number one at the time, right? Number one contender, you know what I mean? And to fight all the way down to an undefeated prospect, right? When you could have just waited on your opportunity. And I would, if I was Brady on everything I love, if I was Brady, I was like, give him the buck. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't do that. And, y'all seen what happened with that one. And then the flips got turned, and now I got Brady.
Okay.
So
the
I feel
second
sorry
fight,
for Brady. I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel sorry for Brady, man. Brady a fool. Brady a goddamn fool.
I got you. We'll talk about that too, because I have some thoughts about his new like active schedule. Because homie was only fighting like once a year before this, but you're saying that the Michael Morales fight was the second fight that kind of you expected, but like
I expected. So I was getting ready. Right?
Okay.
I was like, okay, I didn't take the Protez fight. But that second one, I'm like, I'm gonna be ready because the shit that I had, it was over with. So with that took care of, I was training full time. So I was expecting Michael Morales, but they didn't give it to me, you know?
Okay. So you really only turned down one fight, and it was because it was a quick turnaround after the Usman fight, but you haven't turned down two in this
Yeah.
time off.
No.
Okay. I got you. Okay. Now, speaking about Brady, I'm very excited to speak about this fight, and I'm very excited to watch it because you guys have kind of been like circling each other for years now. In my opinion, this all started when you replaced him against Vicente Luque with the staph infection.
Right.
Right. And now you guys are back in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken, right? You're back in New Jersey for this fight?
Yeah, we in Newark.
And you fought Vicente in New Jersey as well when you replaced Brady.
In Atlantic City, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy that all this stuff is kind of tying together. But this is a matchup where you guys have kind of had some beef for a few years now. What's your thoughts going into this fight? And I guess also, how did this fight come together?
Look, there ain't no beef with Brady, right? This is an individual that I truly believe that, it's just not the toughest of the bunch when you talk about in the welterweight division, right? Any fighter that's, because they get their feelings hurt, blocking individuals, you know what I'm saying? I'm already telling that you're not really about that, even if you're a fighter, right? Even if you step into the octagon, even if you sign a bout agreement, right? Like, I'm already knowing, like, Brady is the type of person that you can bully. And like I said before, we literally seen it before in his last two losses between Michael Morales and Bilal, So I can't call it beef. Beef is equal, exchange, and peak. And you know what I'm saying? I say, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like dislike for each other, right?
I was gonna say you guys don't like each other, that's for sure, right?
No, I have no problem with Brady. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
I just try to give him advice to watch his ass, man, so he don't catch no staff no more. Cause I'll be damned if he catch staff in this fight. You know what I'm saying? And then got to pull out, right? So with that being said, it's just like I have no personal vendetta against Brady. It's just I hate guys that want to play the tough guy online, right? But then when we meet face to face, like I said again, right, they don't never show up, because the story that he did say, on this little podcast or whatever, he talked about the moment that never happens, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's some bullshit, right? I want you to be honest about what you're talking about, right? Be honest about what happened, what broke down, and what transpired. Ain't nobody gonna judge you for it, big fella, you know what I'm saying? If you didn't really want to talk, if you didn't really want to go back and forth, people would believe you, But for you to come out with some bullshit talking about, oh yeah, Buck didn't press me, didn't do this, XYZ, I think that's some bullshit because everybody see with what I do, I follow up on every fighter. I don't give a fuck who it is, right? When Darren Till and Hamzat, right? Kevin Gastelum, JDM, shit. Man, the list goes on how many fighters I just really pulled up on and just had a conversation with Ian Gary, right? Like, this is what I do. I have no problems with that, but it's always about to promote the fight, So me, I feel like, you're going against my brand,
Okay. Well, I mean, shit, I think with you bringing it up, I feel like we got to play the clip because, he spoke a lot about it and it's all the stuff you've been saying over the years. I think that he on his end, he's upset with you because of the washing the ass comment, what you said about pulling up on him at the PI. Apparently you said something like you'd beat his ass in the streets. I never heard about this, but that's what he's also saying. So
yeah, that was on the little interview on Jaden interview. Yeah.
Oh, that was on his interview. What did you say exactly?
No, I just said if me and Brady was on the streets, I'd beat his ass and take everything he got. Quote for quote.
Okay, yeah, he's not happy about that. But let me play you the whole clip because I feel like you need to hear it, and we need to get your response about it. Okay.
Yeah, they're like a
Can you hear it?
betting advice and stuff like that. So we do our podcast through them.
Okay. I understand. Yes, of course I know about the podcast. I didn't know that that was the sort of umbrella front. I was waiting for an Uber. Some loud ass mother effer is coming out. It's Buckley. He looks over and says, Sean Brady. Prior to this, he said something about me with my staph infection, not washing my ass. He was like, man, why you blocked me on Instagram? We're about like hearing he's loud as shit, bro. I'm looking at him. I'm like, I don't like all this talking. We're talking for like 5 minutes. He's talking about selling flights. What's going on? Tell us about this story. What's going on here?
So before me and Buckley were ever slated to fight, he was like, he made some, like, I forget when it was. I guess it was when I was supposed to fight Jack Della Maddalena, and I pulled out because I had a staph infection.
Yeah.
I couldn't fight. He made some post about me, like saying I don't wash my ass, like just saying some shit. And he just talks too much. So I blocked him on Instagram. Like I can block whoever I want. It's my life. It's my Instagram. So I blocked him because I don't feel like hearing that shit. And then we seen each other. He was like, why you block me? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, bro, I don't do all this social media back and forth shit. And at this time, I just got booked with Gilbert. I was like, we're not fighting each other. I was like, I have a fight. And we talked for like 5 minutes while my coach was standing behind me. We were waiting for our Uber because Joey was fighting and I was there doing like pre-camp testing shit. And so we literally talked for like 5 minutes. Like the PI has video footage of it. And he was like just trying to kind of be funny, and I was just like not really being funny. Like hey, I just don't think he's a funny dude. I think he talks too much. But then he did an interview afterwards saying like he seen me, I didn't say anything. Like he almost felt like he was bullying me. So I'm like, first off, you ain't bullying me. No, I don't care who you are in this world. If you can beat me up, whatever, you're not just going to talk to me crazy or bully me. So he was just like, just bullshit and then just lying. They said like, if you see me on the streets, he would like run, like he would like punk me on the streets or some nut ass shit. Like, bro, I'm from Philly. Like, you're not just running up on me like I'm some bitch. So that's when like I finally, because before like I would never even respond to half the shit he would say because he just says shit that says shit. So now, like, all right, now we're fighting each other. Now I will address you. Like, brother, you didn't punk nobody. You weren't talking crazy when you see me in person. And now we get to fight, and now we get to settle it. So we will see in 7.5 weeks what the fuck is up.
Okay.
So you're loud.
Yeah. So
All these things. He could
So,
block
hold
you if
on.
he wants.
so hold on. I'm gonna say this, right? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
With that whole little story time that he gave, right? You know, he pretty much explained my story, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that he lied about is that we had a whole conversation for 5 minutes. What we talk about for 5 minutes?
Why he blocked
Joey?
you?
No, we didn't have a conversation at all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Everything they said is what I said, right?
Uh-huh.
Pretty much. The
Yeah.
only thing that's added is that 5-minute conversation that he talked about, but that didn't happen. His coach spoke for him. And like I said, somebody in the background was like, Buck, stall him out. I'm like, bro, y'all got me bullying buddy right now. And he was like, bro, I'm ready to get up out of here. And he left.
Oh, so when I always was wondering.
He act like it was a whole conversation being sat there. Like, no, we did not talk. What we talk about for 5 minutes?
So did he say anything to you?
He said this when I came up to him. So look, if I'm gonna start it from the beginning, right? We
Yeah.
already talked about it before. All right.
We did, yeah, and that's what
When-
he's speaking on too, is our conversation from the past.
Sean Brady, funny enough. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I did run into Sean Brady too. Funny ass. Sean Brady was literally like a kid, bro. Like he was like, bro, stop bullying me. Like I was like, bro, unblock me off of you because we met each other at the PI. So before I seen Sean Brady, I seen Joe Pfeiffer, and I talked to Joe. I was like, where your boy at? Where's Sean at? He's like, man, he out there, man. He out there in the by the front desk. I said, bet. So I popped up on him. And I seen Sean Brady. He's literally looking down and shit. And this is the funny part, right? He had like a bandage on his eye like Nelly. So, I ended up joking. I'm like, okay, bro, you repping STL, huh? But it looked like he had staph.
Oh.
Right underneath his eye. I'm like, boy, you gotta clear that shit up. So he getting upset and he getting mad and shit like that. He was like, man, why you always fuck with me and shit? I'm just like, man, as fighters, is what we do. This is, at the end of the day, I'll be looking for a fight. If you're a fighter, then let's get down. He's like, but at the end of the day, man, that's just not how I get down. If we gonna run it, we just gonna run it. But I don't like all that shit talking back and forth. I'm like, come on, man. This is how we promote, man. This is how we eat. So we literally going back and forth and all this other shit. And somebody literally in the background, I can't remember his name, but I think he's a fighter in the UFC as well. But he was like, Buck, man, just leave him alone. I was like, damn, bro, they really trying to make me a bully out here. But yeah, Sean literally didn't want no issues with me whatsoever. It's kind of crazy. Like I said, I felt like I was like literally back in high school fucking with some kid, bro, in the cafeteria. Sad.
So when we spoke, I seen Joe Pfeiffer first, right? I said, Joe, man, where your boy at? Because they was talking shit on their little pod, you know what I'm saying, about it, right? So I said, Joe, where your boy at, right? Oh, he at the front desk? I said, all right, bet. Went to the front desk. I saw my man. I was like, what up, Brady? You know what I'm saying? And he seen me, and he looked irritated, right? He looked angry. But I seen he had that bandage like he said before, right? And I was like, okay, I see you repping that STL. Nigga got that Nelly bandage on. But then I look a little close. I said, nigga got stabbed. I said, bro, come on, man. You got to watch that up. Because I ain't going to lie to you. That's crazy. Just back to back, just always having stab. And I know it's a regular thing, man, that we getting when we wrestling and doing other shit. But like literally, bro, like you really gotta take care of it.
There's something
But
in the
regardless
gym.
though, right? Once we got done, me saying that, right? I said, bro, why you got me blocked on Instagram, right? Oh man, I'm really not into stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really into that. I said, man, look, we gotta promote the fight, how we gotta promote it, man. Just in case we want to fight, bro, we gotta get people invested in it. Literally, he don't say nothing. His coach taking it. Hey, bro, I promise you, like he's serious. He don't get into things like that. He don't take nothing personal or anything of that nature. He just focuses on the fight. I'm like, bro, why you talking up for this man, right? And yet again, it's a short interaction. This is not longer than what he trying to make it, right? Like I said, Buddy in the background, and I'm mad that he didn't say that shit. Buddy in the back, hey, stall him out. I said, y'all got me bullying this dude, and my girl Sarah, who works at the front desk, was laughing the whole time, bugging him. Right? He say I'm not a funny guy, but the motherfuckers in that bitch giggling. You hear me? But the thing is, though, I don't even care about that part. Like, let's talk about this. Let's talk about new story. Let's talk about new story.
What's the new story?
Joe Fife, right? Has the biggest fight of his life against Israel Adesanya. Ends up beating him, right? What is it, second round?
Second round knockout. TKO.
Second round knockout, man. You know, goes out there and tells the world that he was dealing with a hard time. You know what I'm saying? And was thinking about, committing. And but he found God, right? Blessings be the King. And
Amen.
And the reason why I bring that up is because what was your closest brother? What was your closest friend? What was your teammate, right? To share that experience with you, right? To share your biggest moment on that stage, right? For you to get your hand raised, who you train with every day. I feel like didn't show up for you. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Maybe he's training for you. That's what I would say.
He still could have got some training in and supported his brother.
I mean, you were there.
I was there.
You were there, and you got the same fight coming up.
I was there to see Brady.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're trying to pull up on Brady.
But regardless, though, I find that kind of a little funny, right? Like you think somebody that's that close to you that you call a brother, right? That you would show up for him on his biggest moment. You know what I mean? And now I can see why Joe Pfeiffer did what he did and said what he said. It don't seem like he got a lot of close ones around him to really kind of speak life into him. You know what I'm saying? That he's just a training partner to them, right? You just being used in the gym. That's just how I see it, right? Because at the end of the day, I can't tell with any one of my brothers that I train with, I don't give a fuck if I do got a fight coming up. I'm popping out for yours. You know? We supporting each other. We a family. Brady ain't got that same type of love for, because I bet you Joe Pfeiffer gonna be at that fight. I bet you he will be. Supporting Brady. But Brady didn't have the same heart and the same love for him. And I bet you if he knew that I wasn't gonna be out there, he would have been out there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. He caught wind that you were going out there, so he avoided the issue.
Confrontation.
So to speak. Yeah,
Come
confrontation.
on, all right, baby. I love you, man. Safe travel. Let's talk. All right.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me about Brady, just because, Brady, he's a bit like, to me, he seems very like picky with fighting. Like everything has to be going perfect for him. If things don't go perfect, then like it really gets in his head and it starts to downward spiral.
Jacob,
he's going to pull out of a fight.
Jacob, it's okay to say. Remember what his name is?
Sean Brady?
No. Big back bitch Brady.
Oh.
Big back bitch Brady, man. Y'all think I be playing. He's soft, right? Like you said, he wants to select. So let's say, okay, if that's the case, why he picked this fight? He didn't want this fight.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Did you think that he wanted to take this fight against you, or that he even wanted it against you in the first place?
Nah, he didn't want this fight against me. But I know my boy Dean Thomas, good people. He had to talk his boy into taking this fight, because this is the matchup that the UFC wanted, and usually UFC get what they want, right? No matter what. And I really feel like he didn't have no options because he was talking to, remember, he was crying about it as soon as he lost to Morales. See, look, it's not me. I'm saying what he's saying. He said right after Michael Morales fight, what he was gonna do? Move down where? 155. If the UFC didn't give me a stylistic matchup that was my fit, what he was gonna do?
55.
Move down to 155. right? You can't challenge the UFC like that. You know what I'm saying? And get a demands. Oh, you better give me the fight that I want. I'm gonna do some bullshit, right? Like cut off a leg just to make a weight class. You know?
Right.
It's all being seen, it's all being shown that the boy just ain't got no heart, you know? But like I said, I don't want to make it too much about Sean Brady because I really ain't got no personal issues with him. I really just know that this is my opportunity to make my name. You know,
Okay.
this is my chance to kind of blow up and put myself in a position where, yet again, man, I'm trying to be the America's best, right? I see a lot of fighters within my roster, right? That's doing big things. That's got big numbers and all these other shit like that. But they don't fight like I fight, you know. And I feel like why don't I get that same love? Why don't I be put in that same position? It's because yet again I didn't show up when I needed to. I'm definitely gonna show up when it come May 9th.
Okay. And I know you almost want to get off Brady now because you just kind of said it, but I just got to get like maybe one or two off about this topic because you did mention it too. You know how he pulls out of fights and stuff. Now you guys got a long training camp for this one, so I'm just wondering like, do you have any worries or reservations about him showing up to the fight, considering it's been like a 2-month camp?
What they got to do with me if he pull out?
Well, even like, are you mentally preparing yourself for another opponent to be, stepping in potentially, or you're
No,
focused on Brady?
No. We prepare ourselves for the best buck, right?
Okay.
The best version of me is always gonna be a problem for anybody on this globe, you know. So with that being said, that's just his habit, but that's not going to affect me in my career. That's going to affect him, right? If he pulls out maybe a fourth fight, this will be the fourth fight, maybe, or the third fight that he pulls out of, because he pulled out the JDM fight and the Vicente Luque fight. Yeah, so
Right.
that'd be 3 fights that you pulled out due to for whatever reasons, right? That ain't got no effects on me. That's on him.
Got you. And I was gonna say about him. Oh, I don't actually think he's gonna pull out because he's been way more active, like as of late, than he's ever been. And I'm not trying to make this about kids, so don't get it twisted. But I think that like the matchup is safe, so to speak, because I think he's more active and less picky these days because he has a daughter now. Versus before he had a kid, he was like not as active and he was pulling out a lot. Because speaking about this, he fought Michael Morales with an injury and he's kind of blaming the loss on that. He says that fight week came about. He almost didn't get cleared for his medicals. He had bursa on his knee, but he still stepped in and fought. But I almost think that like if Brady, like a year and a half ago before he had a daughter, I almost think he would have pulled out because again, I think he likes to fight under the perfect circumstances.
So you thinking the daughter gave him a little heart?
I think so. Yeah, it's that motivation that he needed. Yeah, I think so.
Hey man, that's one thing about that. Your daughter, your woman, your mama, none of that, bro, can help motivate you when you step out there. You know what I mean? It's either in you or it ain't, and it ain't in her. I promise you that. So even if he wants to pretend like he, I'm gonna do this for baby girl and I'm gonna do this for X, Y, Z, yet again, I'm gonna pull that bitch out. I'm gonna pull it out.
Okay, I got you. All right, and last thing I think I got about Brady is on that podcast where he spoke about you guys beefing too and the things you said in the past, he also said, and you said it too, so you guys are both claiming you're going to sub each other. Is this like some trolling on your behalf? Or what? Because he said that too. He thinks he's going to sub you. I
never been sub before, first off. Let's talk about that. I done fought plenty of black belts, plenty of high-level grapplers, and just never been submitted, right? But I feel like in this matchup, is it something that I'm going for? No, but at the same time, it's definitely a potential and probability that I could, just depending on how the fight goes, right? And what he's willing to give to me, and I'm willing to take whatever he gives me, right, to finish this fight. So yeah, I mean, go ahead, put your money down on a good buck submission coming up.
Okay, and what's the walkout song gonna be? I got a suggestion.
I don't know yet.
You ever think about walking out to? I think it's called. Somebody suggested it, so I don't know the song. But you ever think about walking out to "I'm Number One" by Nelly or something like that?
Nah, hell nah. I am number one. Yeah, nah, I'm good.
Not
bro.
that one. I never heard it, so I don't know.
Good song though. Shout out to Nelly though.
Yeah. Okay, and then I was going to say, okay, yeah, with the training camp to get off the Brady thing. With training, a lot of people want to know because you went live the other day, and I think you're trolling, but you're like, I ain't been doing nothing but eating, sleeping, and fucking. So please tell me, that shit not true. You're putting in work for this fight. You're taking Brady seriously.
Where we at? Where we at right now?
We're at the STL Boxing Academy.
We stay in the gym. We stay in the gym. But no, it ain't trolling. It ain't trolling. Okay. I worked so hard in that Usman fight, brother. The world can tell me I wasn't the most prepared for that fight, right? When I fought Usman. And I'm talking about conditioning wise, you know what I'm saying? And I realized I was too focused on being in shape, if that makes sense, right? And doing certain things that I feel like, yes, it allowed me to go 5 rounds, right? But I was working too hard. I was working absolutely too hard. And, and it still didn't go the way I wanted to. So now I'm just going to work, right? And I'm going to work at a gradual scale. And I know that my skill sets and I know that what I do on an everyday basis is enough. That makes sense?
Yeah.
I ain't got to do nothing. I ain't got to do nothing extra for Brady. You know what I'm saying? He got to do the extra shit because he got to fight a nigga like me, right? To survive. I don't have to do that. So I'm not finna stress myself over somebody that I know that stylistically, bro, I can beat in my sleep while I'm eating and fucking.
Okay, so you are training, but it's a bit of a less is more approach, and you might still be having some fun outside of training.
Yeah, we in Miami. We in Miami next week.
Okay.
We in Miami next week, right? And I tell people, I'm not gonna put the pressure on me. The expectation is for me is just to show up. Do you understand? For me to show up and just go out there and give a performance that the fans want to see, that I did my job, right? Do I want to get my hand raised? Hell yeah. Do I want to knock Brady out? Hell yeah. But as long as I go out there and perform and entertain and do my best, I'm always going to win, brother. Always.
Okay. Got you. And did you know that this fight was going to get booked when it got announced and all that stuff, or did that come by surprise?
Say again.
Because you were in I think you were in Houston when the fight got announced. Did you know it was going to be getting announced?
Nah, they always do that shit. I don't know why.
Crazy.
Yeah, they be surprising us. I was getting calls like, "Hey, congratulations!" I'm like, "Congratulations on what?"
Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, "Damn, I missed the opportunity." I thought you knew ahead of time, and that's why you wanted to do the live stream from the event because you knew your fight was gonna get announced.
No, I don't want to do the live.
Me. Okay, got you.
100%.
All right, and it went from 5 rounds to 3 rounds, right? It was supposed to be a main event at the Apex, and it went down to 3. So just a couple questions. The first one I have is, does that mean you're getting less money for this fight? Because I heard that you get paid more for 5 rounds just off base merit.
You do base. Like you get like 25 or something. You get like
a 25 boost or something. So you just miss out on that, but it's the same contractually.
Yeah, always is. It's not that you can't ask for more, but yeah, it's always the same. It don't matter where you fight.
Okay,
Whatever you signed your contract for, that's the amount of money that you get.
Got you. And you didn't care to renegotiate before this fight?
It didn't make. They give me a stylistic matchup. I ain't got to renegotiate.
You're happy with it.
Let me go ahead and get this money, and then plus, let me honor my contract, right? I know what I signed up for. You know what I'm saying? Let me honor my contract, and then when it's time to renegotiate, then we renegotiate. I run them numbers up.
Okay. And then from 5 rounds to 3 rounds, what was your thoughts about that? Like initially getting 5 rounds and then getting moved down to 3. You like that? Dislike it? Benefit you? Benefit Brady?
This is what I'm gonna say. Right? Because I don't know for a fact, but I think Brady won 3 rounds. Right? I think we could have stayed at the Apex, right? And it could have remained a main event, and it could remain a 5 rounder. But I don't think he wanted it. You know what I'm saying? The faster he can get over with the fight, that's what he gonna do, right? He
spoke about it. He said that he's happy he doesn't have to put in all that extra work for the extra 2 rounds.
Yeah. So he already put it out there in the universe. All right, perfect. He won 3 rounds. This makes it worse for him because it's like the Kobe fight, right? I was gonna do the same thing just like in the Kobe fight. I was gonna take my time with it. I wasn't gonna break him down too fast. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna rush him and get him out of there. But now it's a sprint. Now it's a sprint. Now I gotta come and get you. You know what I'm saying? Heavy on that boxing, heavy on them legs. You know what I'm saying? Heavy on that body. Like now you only giving me 3 rounds to work. I ain't got much time. 15 minutes? Oh yeah, I gotta come after you now. You know?
Okay.
So at first a marathon, at first it was a marathon. Now it's a sprint.
Yeah. It's almost gonna look like the Alex Morano fight where you came out just like blast double right off the bat.
Had to go.
Yeah.
Had to go.
Okay. Now maybe Let me see. Oh, wait, real quick. I just want to ask you this one because I see it on my questions. Sean Brady saying he's from Philly. Like, what do you think about that? Because I know you guys are both kind of from hoods, and he's like, I'm from Philly. You're not gonna
He's
bully
from
me.
Philly. He's from
And
Philly. It's some
but it's
hoes
like
in Philly.
you from
There's some
STL.
business in that too.
Yeah. So what do you think it means that he says he's from Philly? You from STL? Does it even matter or what?
Yeah, it don't. It don't. Funny enough, shout out to my man JYD. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter where you from, for real, for real. It's about who you is, right? And at the end of the day, I don't know what part. I don't know much about Philly, right? To be honest with you. Besides my boy, Joe Frazier from being out there. But at the same time, I just know that Brady, just personality wise, right? Don't show me that he came from a hard background, came from hardship. Don't really see him but I don't know much about his story, to be honest with you, but don't seem like a person that then went through adversity through life, you know? Don't seem like really like difficulties that he had to, overcome, right? Because my thing is, if you have, that would embody in your fighting style. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
When you talk about going to Newark, right, and how rough Newark is, you know what I'm saying, in certain parts, right, and being in Brunswick and just how hard it is as a lifestyle, right, to make it out. One of my favorite fighters is from there, Marvin Hagler, right, and I always was wondering, like, damn, why Marvin Hagler fight like that? And I went to Newark, and I said, okay, this is why. You know what I'm saying? This is a very aggressive, very treacherous, you know what I'm saying, and very just about it, you know what I'm saying, city, you know. I could just tell. And with that, was talking about Sean Brady, he don't seem like he come from there. He seemed like he come from a place where I'd be calling him the Brady Bunch. I call him
Yeah.
Brady Bunch for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen that show?
I seen that show. Yeah, a
That's
bunch
the
of people
that's
in the
that's the
family.
neighborhood. That's the neighborhood he come from. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's the people that he used to, right?
I
And
got you.
and like I said, for me, it's not about hood. It's not about being gangster. It's not about none of that. But it's just like literally, I feel like myself. It's like my style and my fight style comes from how I was raised, bro. And my upbringing. And some of the guys that's in mixed martial arts didn't have a rough upbringing. They didn't have like, okay, put it like this. The only way I can make real money, bro, is by doing this.
There was
If
no
I
other
want to
option
have a
for you.
successful life, if I wanted to get my name out there, if I wanted to be somebody special, I had to do this. Sean Brady could have been anything else in the world. He decided to do this,
You
which is
almost saying
whatever.
he had the money to play like baseball and football and these
I
other
believe.
sports and shit like
I
that.
believe.
Yeah.
But he wanted to prove something to his mama. I ain't no bitch, mom. I ain't no bitch. You know what I'm saying? So watch me step out into this octagon and prove to you that I'm the world's best, right? But yet again, if it's in you, it's in you. But when you fight somebody that's truly, desiring more for themselves and want nothing for the best, not just for themselves, but for their family and to change the outcome of everybody that's around them, nigga, we hit a little bit harder.
Yeah. That actually brings up a good point because I think there's two people in the fight game. There's people who are in it selfishly to prove how tough they are. And then there's people who are kind of like you say, it's in them and this is just who they are, that they'd be doing this whether they made money or not, it's in you. And I think that this matchup is kind of like that. You got you who it's in, and what you just said, I'll take the words from you. You believe that Sean Brady's this guy who kind of he more on a mission to prove to himself or maybe his mom, how tough he is, so to speak. And for you, this just who you are. It's in you. You'd be doing this whether you made money from it or not. And
100%.
yeah, I think it's a reflection of also where you grew up. You know what I mean?
100%. Yep. And
Yeah.
that's why this sport still got a long way to go, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we can get on that topic later.
We got to filter out all the guys trying to prove stuff to themselves and just get all the fighters in here already.
100%.
Does it annoy you though when Brady says because he keeps saying this one thing, and I don't know, I'm not the best. I kind of am reactory, however you say it. I react to shit, instead of respond. But he keeps saying Joaquin's loud. This dude's loud. Like does that bother you? I feel like he's trying to send shots your way with that.
Yeah, say what you want to say, but
just annoy you?
I'm a loud. No, I'm a loud nigga. I'm loud when I'm in it. Like motherfuckers be knowing I'm coming.
You already know it
before I
though.
get there. But it's because I can just move how I want to.
Yeah.
Like I said, I might not make the money like I feel like I deserve, but like, I definitely show up in my own space when I'm there in the UFC. And that's one thing I feel like about the staff and about, just anybody that worked there. They know when Buck come around, you know what I'm saying? It's always either gonna be a good time or just gonna be about him. You know what I'm saying?